Hey everyone, welcome in. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into how low-impact exercises can be, well, a real game changer for managing chronic pain.
Absolutely.
We've got some excerpts here from Low-Impact Exercise for Chronic Pain Management, and honestly, some of this stuff surprised even me.
Yeah.
Get ready, because movement might just become your secret weapon. And not just for pain relief, but there's a whole cascade of benefits, like waiting to be unlocked.
It's true. And I think what trips a lot of people up is this whole idea that exercise can actually be better than rest when you're dealing with pain.
Right.
Seems kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm hurting, my instinct is to curl up and avoid anything that might make it worse.
Yeah.
So help me understand this. How can moving actually help with chronic pain?
Well, think about it this way. Our bodies are designed to move.
Okay.
When we stay sedentary, everything from our muscles to our joints, even our circulation, can kind of get sluggish.
Oh, okay.
And that can actually amplify pain signals.
Okay, so moving helps our bodies function better overall. But what about the pain itself? Doesn't exercise risk, making things worse?
That's where it gets really interesting. When you exercise, your body releases these things called endorphins, and these act like natural painkillers. Specifically beta endorphins, they bind to opioid receptors in the brain, essentially dampening those pain signals.
Okay, so endorphins are like our body's own, internal pharmacy.
Exactly.
I love that. But is it just about blocking pain, or do endorphins actually make us, feel better?
They do both. Endorphins not only reduce pain perception, but they can also create a sense of euphoria, sometimes called a runner's high. And there's even more to it. Exercise brings a whole host of benefits beyond just pain management, things like increased flexibility, stronger muscles and joints.
Right.
Even reduce stress and anxiety.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Moving more helps with the pain directly, but then all these other benefits kind of kick in and just make you feel better overall. I'm starting to get why you said exercise can be more powerful than rest.
For sure.
Now, you mentioned that our bodies are meant to move, but for someone dealing with chronic pain, that can feel impossible. What types of movement are we talking about here?
That's where low-impact exercises come in.
Okay.
These are activities that get you moving without putting excessive stress on your joints. And that's key, especially since you mentioned in your request you were looking for exercises that are easy on your knees.
Yes. Gentle on the joints is a must.
Yeah.
What are some examples of these low-impact exercises?
Walking is a fantastic starting point.
Okay.
Simple, accessible, and has a surprisingly huge impact on both your physical and mental well-being.
I can see how walking would be good for overall health, but how does it actually help with pain?
Well, when you walk, you're strengthening the muscles that support your joints, particularly in your legs and core. Those stronger muscles then help stabilize and protect the joints, reducing pain and improving function. And that's especially important for your knees, as strong leg muscles can help take pressure off the joint itself.
So it's not just about the exercise itself.
Right.
It's about building up a support system for your body over time.
Yes.
I like that. What other low-impact exercises should we consider?
Swimming and water aerobics are excellent choices, especially for conditions like arthritis.
Okay.
Since buoyancy reduces stress on your joints, you can move more freely and with less pain.
That makes a lot of sense. Water always feels so soothing when I'm sore. Are there any other ways to, take advantage of that mind-body connection when it comes to exercise?
Absolutely. Yoga is a wonderful option.
Okay.
It's not just about the physical postures. It's about mindfulness and breath work too.
So with yoga, we're tapping into both the physical and mental aspects of pain management.
Exactly. And certain styles like hatha yoga are particularly gentle and great for beginners. Now, another ancient practice that might surprise you is Tai Chi. It involves these slow flowing movements that are fantastic for improving balance, flexibility, and strength.
Okay.
All while promoting a sense of calm and focus.
Tai Chi always looks so graceful when I see people practicing in the park. Is it challenging to learn?
Not at all. Many forms are very gentle and adaptable, making it suitable even for people with limited mobility. And the focus on mindfulness in Tai Chi can be especially helpful in managing chronic pain. It helps shift your attention away from the pain and toward the present moment, which can have a huge impact on your experience of discomfort.
That makes me think of meditation and how focusing on your breath can help ease pain.
Right.
It's like these practices are giving us tools to work with our minds as well as our bodies.
Absolutely.
What other low-impact exercises tap into that mind-body connection?
Well, Pilates is another great option. It emphasizes core strength which is crucial for supporting your spine and reducing back pain.
Oh.
You mentioned back pain in your initial request, so this might be an area you want to explore further.
Yes, back pain is definitely a big one for me. I've heard good things about Pilates, but I'm not really sure what it involves. Is it a lot of complicated movements?
Not necessarily. While it can be challenging, Pilates is all about precision and control, and many exercises can be modified to suit different fitness levels. Essentially, it's like building an internal corset of muscles that support your spine and improve your posture, which can make a huge difference in managing back pain.
Okay, so Pilates is about building that deep core strength that can help alleviate back pain. I'm definitely intrigued. What other low-impact options should we consider?
Cycling, either stationary or outdoor, is a great way to get your heart rate up without putting too much stress on your joints.
Okay.
It's also a fantastic option if you're dealing with knee pain, because it strengthens the leg muscles without any impact on the knee joint itself.
I can see how that would be beneficial, especially on days when my knees aren't feeling their best. Are there any other low-impact exercises we should discuss before moving on?
We can't forget about stretching.
Right.
It's essential for maintaining flexibility and preventing stiffness, especially before and after a workout.
I am so guilty of skipping stretching,
Yeah.
but I know I always regret it later when my muscles feel tight. Is there a specific type of stretching that's best for managing chronic pain?
There are two main types: dynamic stretching, which involves movement, and static stretching, where you hold a stretch for a longer period.
Okay.
Both are important, but for someone with chronic pain, it's often best to start with gentle dynamic stretches before a workout and then focus on static stretches afterwards to help your muscles recover.
Okay, so dynamic stretches before, static stretches after. Got it. Now, I know you mentioned resistance bands earlier. Where do those fit into the picture?
Resistance bands are a fantastic way to add strength training to your routine without using heavy weights. And because they provide controlled resistance, you can gradually increase the intensity as you get stronger, making them ideal for people with chronic pain who need to start slowly and build up gradually.
I like that they offer that gradual increase, which seems to be a recurring theme here. It's not about pushing yourself to the limit.
Right.
It's about working with your body and respecting its limits.
Exactly.
I'm wondering, though, when you're dealing with chronic pain, how do you know where that limit is?
That's such an important question, and one that we'll delve into deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But before we move on, are there any other low-impact exercises you'd like to discuss? You know, it's fascinating how we often approach exercise with this no pain, no gain mentality.
Yeah.
But when it comes to chronic pain, that couldn't be further from the truth.
It's almost like we need to rewire our thinking.
Okay.
Shift from like pushing through the pain to tuning in and really listening to what our bodies are telling us.
Precisely. And that's where the idea of safe exercise comes in. It's not about avoiding exercise altogether. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself without aggravating your pain.
You mentioned earlier that choosing the right exercises kind of depends on the type of pain you're experiencing.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Let's say you're dealing with arthritis in your knees, something you mentioned in your request.
Mm-hmm.
High-impact activities like running or jumping would likely put way too much stress on the joint and could potentially worsen your pain.
So in that case, something like swimming or water aerobics would be a better choice.
Yes.
Because the water supports your weight and takes pressure off the joints.
Exactly. And if you're struggling with back pain, exercises that strengthen your core, like Pilates or certain yoga poses, can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
Think of it like building an internal support system for your spine.
So finding the right exercises is a bit like solving a puzzle, figuring out which movements will best address your specific needs and challenges.
It can be.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that what works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
It often involves some trial and error, paying close attention to how your body responds, and adjusting as needed.
That makes sense. It's about becoming an expert in your own body, right?
That-
Recognizing what feels good, what feels challenging but manageable, and what sends those pain signals flaring.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And speaking of those pain signals, let's talk about how to recognize those limits and avoid pushing too far.
Yes, let's dive into that. I know from experience it's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of, trying a new exercise and accidentally overdo it.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to remember that pain is your body's way of communicating that something is wrong.
Right.
It's not a sign of weakness, and it's definitely not something to be ignored.
So what's the best approach? If I feel a twinge of pain during an exercise, should I stop immediately, or is it okay to push through it a little?
That's where listening to your body becomes essential. There's a difference between good pain, the kind of muscle soreness you might feel after a workout, and bad pain, that sharp stabbing sensation that indicates something is wrong.
So how do you tell the difference?
Good pain tends to be more of a dull ache, and it usually goes away within a day or two.
Okay.
Bad pain is more intense. It might feel sharp or burning, and it tends to linger or worsen over time.
Okay, that makes sense. So if I feel that bad pain, I should stop the exercise immediately.
Absolutely. It's much better to err on the side of caution and stop than to risk further injury. And even if you're only experiencing good pain, it's important to start slowly and gradually increase the intensity and duration of your workouts.
I remember the source emphasizing that gradual increase. It's about respecting your body's current capabilities and giving it time to adapt and get stronger.
Exactly. It's like building a house. You wouldn't try to build a roof before laying a solid foundation.
Right.
The same principle applies to exercise.
I love that analogy. It makes the process feel much more manageable, less about leaping into intense workouts and more about building a solid base that will support me in the long run. And speaking of building, what about strength training? I know you mentioned resistance bands, but are there other ways to build strength safely when you have chronic pain?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Body weight exercises, which use your own body as resistance, are a fantastic option.
Sure.
Things like squats, lunges, push-ups, and planks can all be modified to suit different fitness levels and can be incredibly effective in building strength and improving function.
I appreciate that there are so many options available, from using resistance bands to simply using your own body weight.
Right.
It makes low-impact exercise feel accessible to anyone, regardless of their fitness level or access to equipment. Now, I know we've touched on this briefly, but I want to go back to the idea of proper form. Why is it so important, especially for people with chronic pain?
Using proper form ensures that you're targeting the right muscles and minimizing stress on your joints. If your form is off, you might be compensating with other muscles, which can lead to imbalances and even injuries.
So good form is not just about efficiency.
Right.
It's about preventing further pain and injury down the road.
Precisely. It's worth taking the time to learn the correct techniques for each exercise, whether that's watching videos, consulting with a trainer, or attending a class.
I imagine that having a trained eye watching you can be really helpful in identifying any form issues you might not even be aware of.
Absolutely. A trainer can provide personalized guidance and make sure you're performing the exercises correctly and safely. Now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want to emphasize a few more key points about exercising safely with chronic pain.
Great. What are some other things we should keep in mind?
First and foremost, always warm up before exercising and cool down afterward. It's like preparing your body for the workout and then helping it recover. A good warm-up increases blood flow to your muscles and prepares your joints for movement, while a cool down helps reduce muscle soreness and stiffness.
So what does a good warm-up and cool down look like?
It can vary depending on the type of exercise, but generally a warm-up should involve some light cardio, like walking or marching in place, followed by some dynamic stretches, such as arm circles or leg swings.
Okay.
And for the cool down, focus on static stretches, holding each stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. This will help lengthen your muscles and improve flexibility.
Got it. Warm up with dynamic stretches, cool down with static stretches. Simple enough. What else should we keep in mind?
Staying hydrated is essential.
Right.
Drinking plenty of water before, during, and after your workout helps keep your joints lubricated and prevents muscle cramps.
Okay.
It's amazing how something as simple as water can make such a big difference in how you feel during and after exercise.
It's true. I definitely notice a difference in my energy levels and how my body recovers when I'm properly hydrated. What about clothing and footwear? Does that play a role in exercising safely with chronic pain?
Absolutely. Wearing comfortable clothing that allows you to move freely and supportive shoes that provide good cushioning and stability can make a world of difference. It's all about setting yourself up for success and making the experience as comfortable as possible.
I love that because, if it's not comfortable, you're less likely to stick with it, right?
Exactly. And, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the importance of finding an activity you enjoy.
Okay.
If you don't enjoy the exercise, you're much less likely to do it consistently.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It shouldn't feel like a chore, right?
Right.
It's about finding those movements that bring you joy, make you feel good in your body, and maybe even make you forget that you're exercising.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about finding that sweet spot where movement feels good, both physically and mentally. And sometimes that means thinking outside the traditional exercise box.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it doesn't always have to be about structured exercise classes or gym workouts.
Okay.
Think about activities you enjoy that naturally involve movement. Maybe it's gardening, dancing, hiking, playing with your kids or pets, or even just taking a leisurely walk in nature. It's about incorporating movement into your daily life in ways that feel good and sustainable.
I love that idea. It's about shifting our perspective from viewing exercise as a chore to seeing it as an opportunity to move our bodies in ways that we genuinely enjoy.
Yes.
It almost feels like a permission slip to have fun and move our bodies in ways that feel good rather than forcing ourselves into activities we dread.
Exactly. And, one thing that can make exercise more enjoyable and help you stay motivated is finding a workout buddy.
Oh, a workout buddy. That's a great idea. It's like having a built-in accountability partner and someone to, share the experience with.
Exactly. It can make all the difference, especially if you're new to exercise or struggling with motivation. Plus, it's a great way to socialize and connect with others.
It sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about choosing the right exercise, listening to your body, using proper form, warming up and cooling down, staying hydrated, wearing comfortable clothing, finding an activity you enjoy, and finding a workout buddy. Is there anything else we should keep in mind as we wrap up this part of our deep dive into low-impact exercise for chronic pain management?
There's one more thing I want to touch on, and it's something that often gets overlooked, the importance of patience.
Okay.
Managing chronic pain is a journey, not a destination.
Right?
There will be ups and downs, good days and bad days.
Yeah.
It's important to be patient with yourself and not get discouraged if you don't see results immediately.
That's such an important reminder. It's so easy to get caught up in wanting a quick fix, but healing, especially when it comes to chronic pain, takes time and consistency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And remember that progress isn't always linear. There might be times when you need to take a step back, modify your routine, or even rest completely. And that's perfectly okay.
So it's about being kind to yourself and understanding that there will be setbacks along the way.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that this is a journey. And like any journey, there will be twists and turns and unexpected detours. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it's at a slower pace than you'd like.
I love that. It's about progress, not perfection. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are countless resources available to support you, including healthcare professionals, support groups, and online communities.
That's such an important message. It's okay to ask for help and support. We don't have to go through this alone. Now let's transition to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll bring all of this together and explore how you can start incorporating these principles into your own life.
It's amazing how much we've uncovered about the connection between, movement and chronic pain. It's not just about, masking the pain. It's about empowering yourself to take an active role in your, healing and well-being.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it, how something as simple as moving our bodies can have such a huge impact on both our physical and mental health.
Right.
And the beauty of low-impact exercise is its accessibility. We're not talking about grueling workouts or expensive equipment here. These are activities that can be seamlessly integrated into your daily life.
Exactly. We've explored, everything from walking and swimming to yoga and tai chi, and even just incorporating more movement into our everyday routines.
Right.
It's about finding what feels good for you, listening to your body's cues, and, being consistent with those activities that bring you joy and ease your pain.
Consistency is key. Absolutely. And remember, it's not about pushing through pain, okay? It's about working with your body, respecting its limits, and gradually increasing the intensity as your strength and flexibility improve.
And if you hit a snag or experience a setback,
it's all part of the process. Managing chronic pain is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, good days and bad days. The key is to be patient with yourself, celebrate those small victories, and remember that even setbacks are opportunities to learn and adjust.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Absolutely.
And you reminded us that we don't have to go through this alone.
Right.
There's a whole network of support out there, healthcare professionals, support groups, online communities ready to guide and encourage us along the way.
Absolutely. Reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And remember, even small steps can lead to big changes. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just focus on taking one small step today, something you can commit to and build upon over time.
This deep dive has been so insightful. I feel like we've gained a whole new understanding of how low-impact exercise can be a really powerful tool in managing chronic pain and, well, improving overall well-being.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you. And remember, knowledge is power. Armed with this understanding of your body and the tools available to you, you're empowered to take control of your pain and live a fuller, more vibrant life.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. If you could choose just one of these low-impact exercises to try this week, which one would it be? And what small step could you take today to get started?